All right, welcome to another Wake Up Humans episode with Steve Johnson and Dr. Drew. What's up, my man? How are you, pal?
What's up, my dude? What's up? How
It's
are
all
you?
good. It's all good. So we got a
It
good one
is.
today. We've been talking about Dr. Sid's book, The Meadowlands Experience, and during my workout this morning, it was just like, let's talk about the leaves and the stream. And
Yeah.
so you told me we're just talking about. I pulled out. I always have this book handy. I've probably read it 30 times. And the date I first got it was December of 1997, which was about a year and a half before I was graduating, man. And you said you got yours when?
What was that? January of 2001. January first quarter.
Awesome.
Melba Hughes gave it to me.
Ah, Melva.
Yep, I was checking in at DE, my first DE, and she just like, here, take this damn book. Just only the way Melba could, in the most lovingly way she could.
She was a pit bull of love.
Oh yeah. Yeah, she would hang up the phone on me, just love me, but like, man, she would give me a hard time. Love that woman though.
Oh, God
And
rest her.
yours came from who? Tim Langley?
Yeah, so I've got on here, and I guess Tim Langley must have given it to me, and he was trying to get me to go to Toastmasters at the Aubrey Apartments, which I'm trying to remember or Avery Apartments. Is that where he
Was
lived at the time?
was that Avery? That's not Wood Green. That's
I
not on Wiley Road. Is that Avery?
don't know.
Huh.
I never went to that. I never did, but
Yeah,
I became great friends with Tim Langley, that's for sure, bro.
yeah. He was one for the ages. He was
Yep,
one
he
of
was a
the
great
best
man.
friends a man could have.
Yeah. So, again, it's like I think one of the biggest leaves in our stream could be our emotions, which is something I've learned, through the years. But what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna read like the paragraph or two that kind of talk about it, and then we can kind of
Yep,
jam on it. You good with that?
yep.
So
That's good.
now, all right. So this is from a talk that Dr. Sid gave. They call it the Meadowlands Experience, and it was done what over like a 3 day period, Drew, I think.
Yeah,
And
and
he,
and the first recording was like 6 hours, but
yeah,
like it was clipped up, but it was like a 6 hour teaching period, and then it was over like 2 or 3 days.
it was like 2 or 3 days where he just would wake up and then just walk on stage and just keep going. They said he was in
Yeah,
such a zone. Amazing. So here's a pivotal part of the book. The whole book's amazing. Everybody should read it. Chiropractor, non-chiropractor. I've got copies if people need them, but at DE we have plenty of them. Now, what I want to do is help you and guide you toward knowing what a real major purpose is. I want to clean out all those cobwebs. I want you to get your purpose firmly established in chiropractic and want you to realize that your basic desires are to succeed right now and to live the life that you are capable of living right now, to be as fully successful as you wish to be, even through mundane trivia has been assigned to you, and maybe it's your job and responsibility. I want you to be able to keep your mind off them. I'm suggesting and asking that you view life as a giant stream moving through you. This is a stream of good feeling. It's a feeling that comes to all of us at various times, a feeling of well being, a feeling of love, a feeling of joy, a feeling of tranquility, a feeling of success, a feeling of awareness. I want us to begin to learn how to direct our attention so that we can look more at the stream and less at the leaves that float in the stream. Now, most people are spending the majority of their lives concentrating on the leaves, and those leaves, those small thoughts, are difficult to turn loose in many instances because they at least offer some security.
yep, yep. And that's really the whole crux of the Meadowlands talk.
Right.
He says a couple of sentences after that, like, "I just gave you the whole talk."
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Here it
know,
is.
yeah.
He
And
goes,
that was about 12 minutes in. That's what, 5, 6 pages in.
yeah, like just think him just innately that's coming off his freaking head, man. He goes, but the big ones, the seers, the saints, the lovers, the people with the big ideas, the people with space, the people with capability, know how to watch, feel, and experience the stream. And in
Yeah.
experiencing it, it continually opens them up for receptivity. It keeps their minds stimulated at a higher vibration so they can deal with the innate consciousness within. So they are able to overcome obstacles, overcome temporary defeat, overcome temporary setbacks, learn how to face disaster, learn how to face tragedy, and learn how to face worry and fear and regret without giving them anything, without giving them any attention, without giving them any awareness. And then he says, I have just given you the whole message. Oof,
That's it.
dude, man. Like,
But
come
then he
on.
continues to go on for 5 or 6 more hours. That's the whole message. But then
I
he
got it.
he
It,
peels it apart.
yeah. Like,
Just
you think
just amazing.
it is amazing, man. The mental state he had to be. You know, I was thinking, you look, some of my great, inspirational people I like to listen to are, like Dr. Sid, Zig Ziglar, Napoleon Hill, Dale Carnegie. And it hit me the other morning. These guys didn't have these phones and Instagram and Facebook. They had to sit and read a book, right? And a lot of them in front of a candle. And then they sat around and talked a lot. They talked about life. They talked about troubles. They talked about probably their leaves in the stream and how to get rid of them.
Yeah. Yeah. And we can still do that today. Like we don't have to give up our phones, but we can sit around and like keep our phones down, don't get on them, and
Right.
just break stuff down. We do that at DE a lot.
100%.
We do it at lunch, at supper, at
Yep.
DE. We'll go and just, maybe a table of 20 people, but then, you're breaking it down with 3 people here. These 5 people are breaking it down.
Yeah.
Um, it's just, it's amazing to have that group and that love that we have within each other, and the love we have for ourselves to want to be better.
Right.
Always trying to grow, man. Trying to
Right.
grow.
Yeah, man. We're only 2 weeks away from it, which is even better, brother.
And
It's
dude, go ahead.
I think it's for me that the DE's cleared a lot of those leaves out of the stream, and I think we could talk about, after you say what you had to say, what are leaves that we found people have come through.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I was gonna say. That like we've got those leaves, like everybody has them, but what are we focusing on?
Right.
What are we gonna focus on the minutia of the stuff that doesn't matter, and
Right.
then it just bogs us down? Or we just like you're like, all right, crap, I got to go to Florida. I can't stay in Connecticut. I'm taking my family away. Boom, decision made. I'm going.
Right.
That could
Right.
have been a leaf.
Listen, man, it's like, what if I didn't do it?
Yeah.
Would that have been more beneficial to the kids? And seeing how they've done with the move and how they've thrived where they are, I think it's exposed them to more than they would have been exposed to. So I
Yeah,
think it's
and
very
it yeah, and it gives them an example to see that when your life is literally uprooted, you're still all right.
true.
You're okay because you're going to flow through it. You're going to be the stream. You know, I know
Right.
you called. You're like, man, I kind of worried like about Kane's sports, and then like, look, he's at Venice. They just won the state championship last year in football.
Well, people said, did you do your research? Did like I research where we were going? Did I research the sports? Because, like you just said, King's football team ended up in like the top 10 in the nation this year. And right
Yeah,
now, his baseball team's top 20. His football team won the state. His baseball team is heading that way. That's a hell of an experience.
yeah, yeah,
That's a beautiful thing. And like, I'm happy for him that. So it makes the sacrifice and the grind, because there was a lot of challenges along the way, it makes you step back and say, okay, there's a greater purpose for this whole thing.
yeah. And it's not just state championship in Florida. I don't know the ins and outs of high school football, but I guarantee you a state championship in Florida is means more than a state championship in Connecticut.
Well, I could get in trouble if I answer that one, but
But you
um,
know what I mean? Like there's just there's some big power schools down there, man. Big
their
power
hashtag
schools.
their hashtag for his high school is hashtag it's just different here.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
it's just different.
parents will like, there's amazing athletes in Connecticut, right? But there's amazing athletes in Florida that are exposed to a lot more different things that I think kids may not be getting as much exposure unless you're lucky or your parents have money and they find different things for you to do. It's just a different expectation, A lot of ex-athletes down there, D1 college players that have a standard that they want their kids to be. Genetically, they're bred pretty powerful towards these things, and they work their ass off. I mean, they won the state championships on Saturday. Monday morning, they were back in the weight room training. It was like, good
Yeah,
job. Let's get ready for next year.
yeah, and not that other states are not as competitive, but there's just so many more schools in Florida.
Right.
They're just more.
Right.
It's just the way it is. But if we focus on those leaves and we don't become that stream, we're just going to be crippled in life. We won't be able to function the way we need to function.
Yeah. The thing I was thinking about too is you think about the leaves, raising kids, right? That's where we start
Mhm.
compiling our leaves. A lot of our, stigmatisms, emotions, things that could be blocking our growth in life, right? Like a leaves will clog up the stream, the flow of the stream. So moving my kids to Florida, thinking that could have been devastating. That could have ruined them emotionally. They could have had anxiety and just, oh, poor me, and I want to be back in Connecticut. And the principles that we're living them by, and keeping their nervous system clear, speaking positivity, Dr. Sid, the affirmations that there's a greater purpose why we're doing this, and I am in the right place and I will succeed, things like that you basically brainwash your kids growing up, that when something like this uncertainty comes, that we have a talk as a family at the end of June, and they're moving in August. Like, that's insane for a young kid when you really think about it, bro.
Yeah, and not just one, but a lot of kids.
Yeah, 5.
Five. It's and it is insane. And the it's not just like in personal life, but like what are the leaves in people's practices?
Well, yeah, now when you take that into practicality, see, I think a
Yeah,
lot of it is the leaves from their entire life show up in their practice.
yeah. When they get stressed, like
Yeah,
all that's gonna bubble up, and if you don't deal with that,
right,
um, you don't turn that over, it will always be there.
right.
Always be there. Like you're gonna deal with it one way or the other. You
100%.
know, like I'm gonna maybe next weekend or weekend after DE in the office, I'm gonna replace my water heater. It's not leaking, but it's old, and I would rather do it on my own terms than when I have to do it.
I love that.
Let's go
Yeah,
ahead and do it. Like I'm gonna do it a Saturday. I'm not gonna do anything this Saturday. I'm gonna do it. It's better than coming in Monday after DE and the place flooded.
yeah, amen to that, bro. I know people
And
that's
but
happened to.
yeah, and we got to do that to ourselves though.
Right,
We have to take a record of what we need to fix, what we need to work on, what we need to get better at, what we need to expose ourselves to. Then you got to have a good team to expose it to.
right.
You can't do it by yourself sometimes.
No.
You got to get a good non-judgmental team.
Hmm.
Just get it all out.
It's funny. I talked to a guy today. He's got one CA helping run his office, and he's seeing a lot of people, but he's really stressed out and they're having a hard time growing. I said, you probably need 2 more staff with the amount of people you're seeing. So start with one, hire another one. And he was nervous, right? Right. Because he was being uncertain as to, can I handle this? But you're now bringing in help that's going to make your load lighter and easier. And he's pretty grateful because he realizes that's been, a log in his stream of growth showing up
Hmm.
in his practice. It's like you got to be prepared for where you're going. You got to have the right framework before you get there,
Yeah.
you know. And he texted
Yeah.
me 5 new patients today when he decided to do that, and put just put an ad out on one of those Zip Recruiters or one of those things. And he said he just felt a load lifted off his chest, and he ended up with 5 new patients today out of nowhere.
Yeah. You got to
That's
create the vacuum.
yes. I love that. Explain that. Create the vacuum.
Well, I mean, it's sort of like if you're holding on to everything you can, right? You're holding on to it tight. You can't take on anything else. But if you're holding on to it open, shoot, man, like stuff's gonna fall in your hands, and you can hold more when they're open. When you're
Yeah.
not worried about, you know, hanging on, just like Dr. Sid was saying in that what you were reading in the Meadowlands, like we try to hold on to these leaves because we have some security in those leaves.
Right.
You got to let that go. But if you don't give yourself space to see more people, you're not going to see more people.
No, the universe is only going to give you what you can handle.
Yeah.
You're holding on for dear life and your fists are clenched tight. The gates aren't going to open. There's nothing to
Mm,
receive. Like you said, if you're not open and ready to take it on, it's a weird
yeah.
thing, man. It's like a universal thing that it knows and it shuts you
Yeah.
down.
And it's the opposite of what you think would happen.
Right.
You know, you think if you hold on tight, you keep what you got, but you're going to keep that plus more,
Right.
you know?
Can't control it.
No, I mean, a friend of ours, he's working between two offices, working all the time. He's off on Sunday, just running himself ragged. But now he's closed on Saturday. He's got Saturday, Sunday, going to all of his kids' sporting events, baseball, softball, ballet, all the stuff. And he texts me what last night late, bro, like March was the best month ever. But he's
Really.
working less,
Right.
but it's the better month. You know, it's
Right.
not a vacuum of just more time, more staff. It's a spiritual vacuum too.
Well, I think that's the biggest vacuum that has to be opened up.
Yeah,
I have
yeah.
I had a discussion with a patient last week and she said one sentence. There was one key word that I'm not going to share here because it's going to be the title of my next book.
Ah,
And
oh,
man, it hit me like there it is. I grabbed a piece of paper, I wrote it down, and I'm like, that's the book. That's it. I've already started like throwing my thoughts out there because now it was the funniest thing how it happened. But the reason I say this is like I've been really clear lately. Like I've been back into my normal regime and things are good. But when these thought things drop in, Dr. Sid, that voice within, sometimes when you're really connecting with someone, having a conversation, they could say one sentence, two sentence, one word that all of a sudden you have that aha moment.
yeah,
And it was really cool, bro. I'm like, oh, boom, done. And I said,
yeah.
excuse me, went over because I didn't want to lose the word. And I wrote it down. And it's good stuff, my man.
That's good. And we got to take action then. It's not like I'll remember it later. You
Right.
won't. You got to write it down right then.
Well, BJ Palmer used to sleep with a typewriter next to his bed, right?
Yeah, yeah. He just get up, start typing, and he didn't have sheets of paper. He had one big roll of paper, and he could just keep typing. He never
Yeah.
would have to change a paper.
Yeah. He would let it just all stream of consciousness.
Yeah.
You ever read the book James Joyce or Ulysses by James Joyce?
Oh yeah, that's great.
It's got what, like 3 or 4 ends of the sentence? It's a big run on. It's all stream of
Yeah,
consciousness. I
it's
pulled it out the
just
other day.
going.
I'm like, I got to read this book again.
Yeah,
But
yeah. Shoot, I'm gonna read that. I hadn't read that since college, probably.
I took a class on it, but you had to like blow through it. And it's a big fat
Yeah,
book, and I really can't even tell you what it's about right now. I have to go back and look, but yeah,
yeah, but yeah, you're right. I mean, it was just run. I mean, but he was in that same era that BJ was in.
right.
You know, and I guarantee you, he was friends with L. Rod Hubbard
Oh,
and
sure.
the Roy. You know, I guarantee you, he was. I don't know that for sure, but I bet money on it.
Well, Drew, this was all part of my this thought I had the other day with the these guys back, like people today. Like I was having a couple conversations trying to help people break through some stuff, and it's just clutter. Like it's these leaves we talk about. They have so many leaves, and they're holding on to them. And it's like, it makes no sense to just let them go. They're not going to be gone forever. You're never going to forget it. But the thought thinkers, the ones that had to sit and listen for ideas and talk things out and work with people, we've seen less with that because we've got more bigger, heavier leaves and distractions thrown at us, right? So going home at night, instead of reading a book, jump on TikTok. I've done it. And I got a
Oh
book
yeah.
sitting there next to me. And I'm like, what am I doing? I got to finish that book.
Yeah. And once we start the book, we're glad we did. It's not like it's a chore. It just gets to be a habit, just scrolling, scrolling,
Right.
scrolling,
Right.
scrolling. Looking for that next dopamine hit, that next thing. Oh, what's that next thing I can share? What's that? Oh, that's funny. I laugh for 30 seconds,
Right.
but then it's over.
Right.
You know?
Distractions, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's
And
distracting you from growing in life?
yeah, and the more we think that we're connected, sometimes we're just more disconnected from each other.
Well, it pulls you away.
Yeah.
Pulls
Like
you away.
it's wild though, man, when we look at the pressure that people are under unnecessarily, because when you're in the flow, you just let a lot of that go.
Right.
You just let it go. Like, all right, well, that's what it is. This is what it's going to be.
Well, I think an action step for people listening is really to say, who do they have as a group, an accountability group, a tribe of friends? Could be one person, three people that they could actually just sit down and just talk and have
Yeah.
transparency and ask the tough question or share a personal challenge without feeling judged, without feeling that that person's going to run off and gossip and tell 10 other people, but really a safe place where you could talk and discuss and grow and then build on personal growth and talking about where you're at and where you want to go. But you got to clean out this stream. You got to clean out the pipes to allow things to flow and open up.
Yeah. And it's like, you'll help me clean out my stream. I'll help you clean out yours. And there's no judgment, but that doesn't mean that it's just smoke blowing up each other's butt. Like, oh yeah, it's great. It'll be fine. You'll be okay. No, there's still action steps. No judgment, but like, hey, you need to do this.
Right.
This is a blind spot that you don't see,
Right.
and you need to correct that.
Right. And
You
what's the
know?
ramifications if you don't?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
It's either you just may be an asshole. You know what an asshole is?
No,
Somebody that wants advice and they ask you for advice, but then you give it to them and they never take it.
I know a lot of those, my man.
Yeah, asshole.
Yeah. I know a lot of that. And, it's been tough through the years, especially, that doctor patient relationship where, what's stopping a person from coming in is what their neighbor's saying or what the guy at the next cubicle is saying. And, they get scared and don't, we're quacks, right? Or they don't,
Yeah,
is this chiropractic stuff okay? And they just don't listen. And they go the other way. And then you hear about surgeries, or I've heard surgeries that have gone bad with people that you could help.
yeah. And I think our job is to let them know. As long as they know, and we've told them, and it's landed on their ears, it's before their eyes to read.
Right.
We can't make every choice for people that we want them to make.
You can't, you gotta be able to speak your truth. And at least that's the point I got was it was worse where there was an occasion where I could have said something and just didn't, kind of
Yep.
gave up on them and then felt horrible afterward. That to be able to just share the truth and know that they heard it, where they put their head on the pillow at night and no one's whispering in their ear, they know that, okay, I got a decision to make now. And I at least gave them an
Yep.
option. So now the ball's in their court.
Yep. And when we lay down at night, we know that we did all we could to help them.
Right.
They might not have came in, they might have came in 2 visits and their aunt said don't go back. And
Right.
they might have listened to that, but we know that we give them the information.
Well, that's the art of communication, is really trying to connect. A great book. I was talking with Dr. Alex. and we were talking about communication. He said, what books would you recommend? And the first one that popped in my head was a book I read years ago, and it's called You Are the Message. You Are the Message. And I'm getting some of my office is full of books that I've read, and I've got written of a bunch, but the ones I'm keeping, I'm shipping down to Florida because I want to make a library for myself.
Mhm.
And guess what I find that like halfway down on the bottom of a pile is that book that we were just talking about
Oh,
yesterday.
yeah.
So I walked out and gave it to him. I haven't read that thing in years, but just seeing the title again, You Are the Message, right? What's your message? How you carrying it? How you perpetuating it? And how's it coming off you? If you've got a lot of baggage and darkness, if you've got a message of positivity you're trying to put out there, it's not coming that way.
No, even if you try to say the right words, the energy in your heart's not right.
Right. So
I
let's talk
usually
about
don't say the right words, but I think my intent is is better. I try to work on my intention.
I think you're a master at words, bro.
I don't know. It's a lady today. We hadn't seen her in 3 years. She come in. She's going to like Europe on Saturday. She's like, I can't move. It's been this way for 7 months. I'm like, well, shit, you're 8 months late. You know. And then
Yeah.
adjusted her, and she like, it's still there. I'm like, listen, you can't plant corn Monday and pick it Tuesday
You you can't plant corn Monday and pick
and
it.
pick it Tuesday.
Come on, bro. That's a classic.
Then I'm like, I'll see you tomorrow. I got to go. And then I'm just like, whatever, figure it out. You need to come here. You know the truth. It's just,
Keep
oh,
I'm writing that down. Keep going
just,
Monday. Pick it. I'm using that.
yeah. But, they get it when you say that sometimes. They're like, oh, yeah, well, shoot, that's right. You know, and, she's had a big weight loss journey, so she should get it. Like, you just can't, all right, I'm going to eat a salad today. Like, I'm still fat.
Right.
Like, no, it takes time, effort, repetition.
Right.
We but and I think part of being in the stream and not connecting to a leaf is if she don't come in tomorrow, if she doesn't come in Thursday and she goes to Europe, that's on her, man.
Gotta
Like,
love her
that's
anyway.
on her. Yeah, it's all good because if people knew what we know, they'll be lined up miles down the street.
And that's the incredible part. And so as we're talking, and this is you're kind of tying part of this in my brain together because it seems like it's like whatever's going on in our own consciousness we bring out here. But you think about how do we clear out these leaves in the stream, whether whatever they may be. And for us, the number one thing is living clear, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And then there's layers of things you could do in your life to get clear. It's just I don't have to be that person, all solutions to people to clear up all their blockages, all their
Mhm.
leaves, all their stuff. There's enough people, positive people, different types of doctors, different types of therapists if you need them, that I refer people to go there that master in that. And me trying not to do it because I want to be all end all and make a lot of money off of them.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Well, somebody asked me today about like their shoulder. I'm like, bro, like you're a tennis player. I don't know. Um, I know you need to have a clear nervous system,
Right.
and he's going through some like other stuff, and like you just got to be clear, dude. That's our job. Our job is to see where there's nerve system interference, remove that. That doesn't mean you don't need to get something else checked.
Right.
You may need to. You may have plantar fasciitis and need to go. I don't know what you need to do,
Well, it's
but
funny when you think about the leaves that, if you have a big log ahead of those leaves, which is cutting down on the flow, that's like the Atlas subluxation, man. You remove that out, it now speeds up the flow, the connection, the healing capacity. And a lot of those leaves will clear up on their own because your body innately is going to take care of it. It's going to
yeah,
flush
and
it out.
Yeah, it's like a subluxation above Atlas.
Yeah,
Like you just get stagnant in the brain almost in your thoughts and your actions and your motivations.
right.
And then you just go down this cascade, this pathway
Yeah,
of oh, it just gets worse and worse, and then it snowballs, and then next thing you know, you're having behavior that's unbecoming to yourself.
yeah. Well, you said a long time ago from the stage, if you want to see what subluxated people are doing, just watch the news.
Yep,
I mean, people living clear make much better decisions in life. That's for sure.
they do, they do, and there's not so much hate and strife and just wanting to hurt each other.
Right,
We just make better choices when we're living clear and connected.
right,
That's all I want for people is to live clear. And if you live clear, you're gonna know where you need to go get your ankle checked out.
right,
You're gonna know immediately, like, oh, I need to get that checked.
right.
Something's not right.
Something ain't right.
Yeah, I need to call that parent that I'm estranged from for 15 years. I need to make amends with that person
Right.
because it's not right.
Just it doesn't feel right.
Mm, And then we can trust our feelings when we're clear.
That's a fact.
When we're not clear, man, we can't trust them.
Nope. Nope. So any chiropractor out there, even layperson, Meadowlands Experience, a must read, or you can listen to it, right? I mean, we have do we have the talk? We have those at DE, right?
Yeah, yeah, we got the talks too. You can get them online, lifede.com.
LifeDE.com has the books too.
Uh, Probably, yeah. We can. I
Okay.
think I think you can order them online, but the audio for sure.
Awesome.
About 4 or 5 hours of audio.
Yeah, it'd be great to get more chiropractors reading that and talking about it and what did he mean with this? And I mean it's a little book. I mean, I've literally read it probably 30 times. It's all taped up. That's how much I value it. And now I've added what you said, Drew. You can't pick corn Monday. You can't plant corn Monday and pick it Tuesday, right?
That's right. That's right. And my copy is at home on my nightstand. It's just underlined, different color highlighters, underlined twice, circle keywords. Just it's written up,
Yeah,
just written up, man. It's he left us a great legacy um, with his namesake and DE, but I think Meadowlands and lasting purpose is they're two of the biggest things he left us.
100%. 100%.
You know,
All right, my
and
man. Well, we're together in 2 weeks.
I can't wait.
It's
I
gonna be an
can't wait. It's
awesome
gonna be
time.
so good.
We got a big
I'm
crowd.
oh yeah, it's gonna be hundreds, bro, hundreds of people.
Love it.
It's
Love
gonna
it.
be pretty weather. I've been checking the weather for a week.
Yeah,
Like how's it gonna be?
yeah.
Because what was it 2 years ago in January? It was like 30 degrees there. You
Uh,
remember that?
in
It was in
January, yeah.
January. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like
Let's
a
see.
year or two ago. I'm like, dang, this is going to be perfect weather this time.
It's gonna be it'll be 80s, 85.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Nice
hot.
breeze.
Yep. It's what I
You
call
know,
home now, my brother.
that's awesome. That's awesome. It's a good place to be.
Oh,
And home is where your heart is, right?
oh, you're so sensitive.
Like, hey, dude, it is. It is. Like, we've been there early before DE starts and after DE ends. That empty hotel room is nothing.
Oh, it's amazing when you go
Just
in
an
there.
empty hotel room.
Uh-huh. The worst
But
is
man, when it
after
gets
and when it's
full,
over.
yeah,
And you
when
go to
it
that.
gets full, it's just like, oh shit, I'm home now.
Yeah, like what's the difference between that room when like we leave it and then a watermelon convention goes in afterward? Like what's the difference? The energy, the message, the consciousness, the words, the vibration,
Yeah,
like life.
yeah, I know, and that really happened. Watermelon convention in Sarasota, in
Yep.
probably what 2010, 2012, and watermelons filled the room after we left. But it was I know that we're bringing lasting purpose, giving, loving, serving, doing out of your own abundance.
Amen to
We're
that.
we're learning how to clear out our community so our communities are better.
Right.
You know, I know our towns and our cities, our states are better because we're clearing people out.
And that's like the words say above the stage, nothing is bigger than life. And that's what we're perpetuating.
Yeah, yeah, and freeing. We're unlocking that subluxation. We're freeing that life up so people can function the way God created them to. And if they do that, shoot, watch out.
Watch out. Watch out
You
is
know,
right.
watch out.
We got thousands of stories of struggling chiropractors that were broke, emotionally going through a tough time, that started coming to DE in a short period of time, turned their whole life around,
Yeah,
started serving the masses and loving life and loving what they're doing and loving taking care of people and losing themselves in service.
yep. And I will. You know this. I know this. Everybody else knows it too. If they've been around just a little bit, anybody who's anybody in chiropractic can trace their roots back to DE.
One way or the other.
Like anybody.
Right.
You show me somebody that can,
Right.
and it's not possible.
Right. It's not.
You know,
It's not. Well, let's end it there, my bro.
that's awesome.
And I'll talk to you before then, but I'm looking forward to seeing you in 2 weeks and
It's
going
gonna be
over to
good.
our favorite restaurant, the Columbia.
Oh,
If the
dude,
Columbia wants to sponsor our show. Actually, that's an announcement too. If anyone has anything where we've had people reaching out that want to be sponsors. So if you want to be a sponsor, let us know. Shoot one of us a message.
that's right, man.
Never
Columbia,
thought
we
of that.
gotta.
Thought of that, but hey,
I should do a blog video of taste testing the pollo manchego.
Polio Manchego.
No
That's the chicken.
sauce.
Yep.
I mean, extra sauce, no pepper.
Extra sauce. I got to remember to order that.
Yeah, got to get that sauce.
But we'll go together. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, great stuff.
All right, bro. Love you. Until next
Yeah,
time.
man. Yep, love y'all.